pregnant and isolated on the island. She didn't know the stranger was a dangerous alpha. The sky above the island was always dark, not just dark like night, but dark like something old, tired, and filled with forgotten sorrow. Thick gray clouds moved slowly across the sky as if they were carrying secrets they did not want to share. The sea around the island was never calm. Waves crashed against black rocks with loud, heavy sounds, like the ocean itself was angry at something long ago. No one lived on this island willingly, but she had come here because she had nowhere else to go. The young woman stood at the edge of the beach, holding her coat tightly around her body as the cold wind tried to push her backward. Her name was Isla. She was tired, afraid, and carrying a secret she had not yet fully accepted. She was pregnant. The child growing inside her was still small, still quiet, but she could feel something strange about it. Sometimes, when she closed her eyes, she felt warmth spreading through her body, not like normal human warmth, but like soft golden light moving slowly through darkness. Isla did not understand it. She only knew that she had to leave the royal mainland. There were people who wanted her dead, or worse, they wanted her child. Isla remembered the night she escaped. The royal palace had been filled with whispers and shadows. She had heard the names of powerful nobles speaking about her like she was not a person but a problem to be removed. They spoke of magic. They spoke of prophecy. They spoke of a child who could change the balance of kingdoms. She did not want power. She only wanted safety. So she ran across the sea, through the storm, until she reached this cursed island that no army dared to invade. The island was said to be alive. Old fishermen from nearby villages believed the island was protected by something ancient and powerful. Some said it was a king. Others said it was a monster. But most people agreed on one thing: anyone who tried to stay on the island without permission would disappear. Isla did not believe in legends, at least not until she met him. The first time she saw the stranger, it was during the evening when the sky turned deep purple. She had been walking through a forest path near old stone ruins she found earlier that day. The ruins looked ancient, broken pillars covered in moss, walls carved with symbols she did not recognize. The air around the ruins felt heavier, like the forest was holding its breath. Then she heard footsteps behind her. Slow, careful, controlled. She turned around quickly and saw him. He stood under the shadow of a tall, broken statue. He was tall, dressed in dark clothing that looked simple but expensive in quality. His hair was black and slightly messy from the wind. His eyes were the most strange, deep, sharp, and filled with quiet strength. He did not look surprised to see her. Instead, he looked tired. "You should not be here," he said. His voice was deep but soft, like distant thunder. Isla felt fear immediately. She stepped back slightly, placing one hand instinctively over her stomach. "I didn't know anyone lived here," she said carefully. The man studied her face. Then his gaze lowered slightly, as if he had noticed something she was trying to hide. "You are pregnant," he said. It was not a question. Isla's heart began to beat faster. She did not answer. Instead, she asked, "Who are you?" For a long moment, he did not respond. Then he said, "This island does not belong to humans. You should leave before night comes." His warning was calm, not threatening, not angry, just certain. But Isla had nowhere else to go. "I can't leave," she said quietly. "People are hunting me." The man's expression changed slightly, not soft, not kind, but something closer to curiosity mixed with recognition. "What is your name?" he asked. "Isla." He repeated the name once, as if memorizing it. Then he said, "Stay away from the forest after sunset. The island's spirits wake when darkness falls." Before she could ask anything else, he turned and walked away. He moved silently, like a shadow disappearing into deeper shadows. That night, Isla stayed in an abandoned stone cottage she had found near the coast. The cottage was small but safe. The wooden roof leaked slightly during rain, but it was better than sleeping outside. The storm began just after midnight. Lightning flashed across the sky. Thunder followed like loud drums from some distant war. Isla could not sleep. She felt the baby move inside her stomach, not violently, but like soft waves rolling gently. The feeling made her emotional in a strange way. She placed both hands over her stomach and whispered softly, "It's okay, we are safe here." She did not know if she was trying to comfort herself or the child, maybe both. Then she heard footsteps outside, slow, heavy. Someone was walking toward the cottage door. Isla's heart started pounding. She slowly stood up, searching for something she could use to defend herself. There was nothing except a broken wooden chair leg. The door suddenly opened. Wind rushed inside, carrying rain and cold air, and there he was. The stranger from the forest, except now something about him was different. His eyes were glowing faintly like pale silver fire trapped behind glass. "Why are you still here?" he asked, sounding almost frustrated. "I told you I couldn't leave," Isla said. He stepped inside slowly. The door closed behind him on its own, as if the wind itself had obeyed his presence. Isla realized something strange. The rain outside had suddenly stopped hitting the roof above them, as if the storm was avoiding the cottage. "You are in danger," he said. "From who?" He hesitated. Then he said, "From what you are carrying." Isla's breath caught in her throat. "How do you know about my child?" she asked. He did not answer immediately. Instead, he walked closer to her, not aggressively. Just carefully, like someone approaching a frightened animal. "You feel it, don't you?" he asked quietly. "The magic inside you." Isla felt tears forming in her eyes. She did feel it, but she was afraid to believe it. "I don't want magic," she said. "I just want my child to be safe." The man looked at her with an expression that was hard to read. Sadness, loneliness, something older than sadness. "My name is Kale," he said finally. "I am the guardian of this island." Guardian, not king, not monster, not warrior, guardian. "The island protects magic," Kale continued. "But magic also attracts hunters. If they find you, they will not just kill you, they will take the child and use it." Isla felt cold fear spreading through her chest. "Why are you helping me?" she asked. Kale did not answer immediately. Instead, he looked at the window where lightning flashed again across the dark sky. Finally, he said quietly, "Because I have been alone for a very long time." His voice sounded older in that moment, like someone who had watched centuries pass while standing still. The silence between them felt heavy but not uncomfortable. For the first time since arriving on the island, Isla felt slightly safer. But that feeling did not last long. Outside, deep in the forest, something howled, not like an animal, but like something pretending to be an animal. Kale's eyes suddenly glowed brighter. His body became tense. "They have found you," he said quietly. "Who?" Isla asked, voice shaking. Kale turned toward the door. "Hunters from the royal mainland," he said. Then he looked back at her, his expression serious but protective. "And they are not coming for you alone." He paused, then added slowly, "They are coming for your child." Outside, footsteps were approaching through the rain-soaked forest. Slow, intentional, merciless. Kale's voice became softer, almost protective. "Stay behind me," he said. And then, as thunder shook the sky again, Isla realized something terrifying. Kale's shadow behind him was growing larger. Not human. Something ancient was awakening inside him. And as the cottage door began to shake violently from the outside, Kale spoke one last sentence before the door burst open. "They do not know what kind of king they are about to awaken." The night on the island became darker. Not just dark because of the storm, but dark in a way that felt alive. The wind moved through the forest trees like whispers from an ancient world. Lightning flashed again and again, lighting the black sea and the sharp rocks near the shore. Inside the small stone cottage, Isla stood behind Kale, her heart beating very fast. Someone was outside, many footsteps, slow, careful. Like hunters who knew exactly where their prey was hiding. Isla held her coat tightly around her body. She felt her baby move again, stronger this time, like the child could feel danger approaching. Kale did not move immediately. He was standing very still in front of the door, like he was listening to something only he could hear. Then he spoke quietly. "They are stronger than normal soldiers," he said. "They carry dark magic with them." Isla felt fear tighten inside her chest. "Will they hurt us?" she asked. Kale did not answer directly. Instead, he said, "Stay inside. Do not open the door for anyone, not even me if I lose control." His words made her more afraid. "What do you mean?" she asked, but Kale did not explain. He slowly opened the door and stepped outside into the rain. The wind outside was violent. Rain fell hard, hitting the ground and the roof of the cottage like thousands of small drums. The forest around them looked like it was breathing slowly, moving with the storm. 5 men were standing near the forest edge. They wore black armor with dark red symbols on their chests. Their eyes glowed faintly with magic energy. The leader stepped forward. "You are still protecting her, Kale?" the man said. His voice was cold. "Even after everything." Kale's expression did not change. "You should not have come to this island," Kale said. The man laughed softly. "Royal orders," he said. "The girl carries a child of prophecy. The royal court wants the child, alive if possible." Kale's eyes darkened. "You will not take her." The man smiled. "We will see." Then he raised his hand. Dark smoke like magic began forming around his fingers. The air itself felt heavier, like something invisible was pressing down on the island. Kale closed his eyes slowly. When he opened them again, his eyes were glowing silver-white, not just glowing, burning with ancient power. Inside the cottage, Isla felt the magic shift in the air. The baby inside her stomach moved suddenly, stronger than before. She placed both hands over her stomach and whispered, "It's okay, I am here." But fear was growing inside her. Outside, she could hear fighting sounds, wind screaming, magic exploding like thunder. She wanted to open the door and help him, but she remembered Kale's words. "Stay inside." Kale moved like a shadow in the storm. He was not just fighting like a man, he was fighting like something older than human history. His body shifted slightly during the battle, not completely transforming but showing signs of his true supernatural form. Dark energy and ancient magic surrounded him like protective armor. The hunters attacked together. Fire magic, binding spells, dark chains of energy tried to wrap around Kale's arms, but Kale moved faster. He broke through the magic chains with raw force, his power shaking the ground beneath their feet. "You cannot win alone," the leader said. Kale did not respond. Instead, he stepped forward slowly. "I have been alone for centuries," Kale said quietly. "I know how to survive alone." Then he attacked. The battle lasted only minutes, but it felt like eternity. Lightning flashed, magic clashed. One by one, the hunters fell back, not dead, but defeated and afraid. The leader realized something. Kale was not just a guardian. He was something far older, something royal, something cursed. Finally, the leader shouted, "You are still bound by the prophecy." Kale stopped moving. The wind around him slowed slightly. The man continued. "The child will either free you or destroy you." Kale said nothing, because he knew it was true. Inside the cottage, Isla suddenly felt sharp pain in her chest. Not physical pain, emotional pain. Like someone had opened a door inside her mind. Then she heard a voice, not outside, inside her thoughts. "Mother," Isla froze. The voice was soft, young, and full of strange magical warmth. "Mother, do not be afraid." Her eyes filled with tears. "Who are you?" she whispered. "I am the one you are protecting." The baby's magic was awakening slowly, not violently, not aggressively, but like a small light growing inside darkness. Outside, Kale was winning the battle, but something was wrong. The leader of the hunters suddenly pulled out an ancient magical artifact. It was a black crystal stone with glowing red veins running through it. "Last order from the royal court," the man said. "If we cannot take the girl alive, we destroy the child." Kale's eyes widened slightly. "No," he said quietly. The man crushed the crystal. Dark magic exploded outward like poisonous smoke. The magic was not aimed at Kale. It was aimed at the cottage. Inside, Isla felt something terrible happening. The baby's magic reacted violently to the dark energy. She collapsed to her knees, breathing heavily. The voice inside her mind became louder. "Mother, it hurts." Tears fell from her eyes. "I don't know how to help you," she whispered. Then she remembered Kale's words. Magic can be shared through emotional connection. She placed both hands over her stomach and closed her eyes. "I choose you," she whispered. "I choose your life over fear." Warm golden light began spreading slowly from her body. Outside, Kale saw the golden light through the cottage windows. For the first time in centuries, he felt hope. But the battle was not over, because the leader of the hunters was still standing, and he was smiling. "You love her," the man said. "That will be your weakness." Then he spoke the final spell. A dark binding magic circle formed around Kale's feet, ancient curse magic. The curse that had imprisoned Kale for centuries began to react. Kale's body trembled, memories flooded his mind. Centuries of loneliness, centuries of protecting the island alone. He realized something terrifying. The curse was not just punishment, it was protection. If he allowed himself to love someone, his power would weaken, and the island magic would fade. The hunters began retreating into the forest. Their mission was complete. They had weakened the guardian. They had confirmed the prophecy child was alive. They disappeared into darkness. Kale stood in the rain, breathing heavily. Then he turned and walked back to the cottage slowly. Inside, Isla was sitting on the floor, exhausted but alive. The baby was calm again. Kale looked at her quietly. "You saved your child," he said. Isla looked at him. "And you saved me," she said softly. Silence filled the room, not uncomfortable silence, but emotional silence, like two broken souls learning trust slowly. Kale knew something dangerous was coming. The royal court would not stop. The prophecy was real. The child would change everything. He walked closer to Isla slowly, then he said something he had never said to anyone before. You should leave the island before the next full moon. Isla felt pain in her chest when she heard those words. Why? She asked. Cale looked at her with deep sadness. Because I am starting to feel emotions again, he said, and if I fall in love with you, the curse will destroy me. Isla felt tears forming in her eyes. She wanted to speak, but outside the sea suddenly turned completely black, and from the deep ocean shadows. Something ancient began moving toward the island, something far older than royal courts, something that had been waiting for the prophecy child to be born. Cale suddenly turned toward the window. His voice became very quiet. They are not the only ones coming for you. Isla asked, voice shaking. Then who is coming? Cale did not answer. Because in the distance, under the dark ocean waves, something opened its eyes. The sea was not calm anymore. Dark waves moved slowly under the night sky as if something huge was swimming deep beneath the ocean. The wind had changed. It was colder now, more heavy. The clouds above the island were spinning slowly, like they were watching something important about to happen. Inside the old stone cottage, Isla could not sleep. She kept thinking about Cale's words. If I fall in love with you, the curse will destroy me. Those words kept repeating inside her mind like a sad song. She sat near the small window, looking at the dark sea. Her baby was quiet tonight. That made her feel worried. Usually she could feel soft, magical warmth moving inside her body, but tonight everything felt silent, too silent, like something was waiting. Cale was standing outside the cottage near the beach. He was watching the sea carefully. His silver glowing eyes were faint in the darkness. His supernatural senses were stronger tonight. He could feel danger coming from far away, not from the mainland, from the ocean itself. Cale was not fully human. He was the last guardian of an ancient supernatural kingdom that once existed under the island. Many centuries ago, his people had lived under the sea and on the land together, but war had destroyed everything, and Cale had been cursed to live forever alone. Until someone strong enough came to share his power. He never expected that person would be a young woman running away from royal politics. He never expected to feel protective love again, and that scared him more than enemies. Suddenly, Isla opened the cottage door and stepped outside. She was wearing a long, simple dress and a coat. The wind moved her hair gently. She walked slowly toward Cale until she stood beside him. You should be resting, Cale said without looking at her. I can't sleep, Isla replied. I feel like something bad is coming. Cale did not argue because he felt it too. For a few moments they stood together watching the sea. Their relationship was not loud or dramatic. It was quiet, emotional. Like two broken souls learning to stand near each other without fear, Isla spoke softly. You wanted me to leave the island, she said. Cale stayed silent. I know why, she continued. You are afraid of loving me. Cale closed his eyes for a moment. I am not afraid of love, he said. I am afraid of what happens when I lose control. He turned to look at her. If I lose control of my power, I could destroy this island, and you. Isla felt tears in her eyes. But you protect me anyway, she said. Cale did not respond immediately, because it was true. He would always choose to protect her, even if it meant suffering himself. Suddenly, the ocean waves rose violently. Both of them turned toward the sea. Dark shadows were moving under the water surface. Huge shapes. Ancient shapes. Then a deep voice echoed across the beach, not spoken like human speech, more like magical sound vibrating through the air. Guardian of the island, the voice said. Cale's body became tense. They have arrived, he whispered. Who? Isla asked. Cale answered slowly. The ancient sea kingdom that was destroyed in the old war. The ocean water exploded upward. Huge magical energy burst from the sea, forming shapes that looked like giant sea creatures made of dark blue magic light. Then a figure walked out from the water. It was a woman. She wore dark blue royal clothing that looked like it was made from ocean magic itself. Her eyes were cold and powerful. She was a queen, the queen of the deep sea kingdom. My brother's curse has finally weakened, she said, looking directly at Cale. Isla felt shocked. Your sister, she whispered. Cale did not correct her. Instead, he spoke to the queen. You should have stayed hidden under the ocean, Cale said. The queen smiled slowly. The prophecy child is born soon, she said. The royal mainland wants the child. But I want something else. What do you want? Cale asked. The power of the island king, she said. Cale's eyes darkened because he understood. She wanted to break his curse and take control of his supernatural kingdom power, not to rule peacefully, but to control everything. The queen raised her hand. Sea magic surrounded the beach. Water rose from the ocean and formed chains made of magical liquid light. Kale immediately stepped in front of Isla. "Stay behind me," he said, but Isla shook her head. "No," she said, "I am not weak." Kale turned slightly to look at her. He saw determination in her eyes. He realized she was changing, becoming stronger emotionally and magically. The queen attacked first. Water chains moved like living snakes trying to capture Kale. Kale fought back using island magic energy. The ground beneath him glowed with ancient symbols. Magic clashed against magic. The beach shook. Storm clouds above them started releasing lightning. Kale was strong, but the queen was also extremely powerful. She laughed during the battle. "You are still weak because of emotions," she said. "Love weakens kings." Kale did not respond, because he knew something she did not understand. Love was not weakness. Love was choice. Inside Isla, the baby's magic suddenly awakened strongly. She felt warmth spreading through her body. The child's voice spoke inside her mind again. "Mother, help him." Isla closed her eyes. She did not know how to fight, but she knew how to use emotional magic. She focused on love, on protection, on hope. Golden light began forming around her body. Not violent magic, healing magic, pure magical energy that was rare in this world. Kale felt the change immediately. He turned and saw Isla glowing with golden light. For the first time in centuries, he felt his curse weakening slightly. The queen noticed too. "No," she whispered, because prophecy magic was becoming real. Isla stepped forward. "I don't want power," she said to the queen. "I want peace for my child." The queen looked angry. "You are foolish," she said. "Power is survival." Then she attacked Isla directly. Dark sea magic rushed toward her. Kale moved instantly. He used his body to block the attack. The dark magic hit him violently. He fell to one knee. Isla screamed his name. Kale realized something terrifying. The curse inside him was starting to react. If he continued using power while feeling emotional love, his body would collapse. He stood slowly. Then he said something very important. "Isla, I have to make a choice." "What choice?" she asked, crying. Kale looked at the queen, then at the island, then at Isla. "I can save the island," he said, "or I can save you and our child." Isla walked closer to him slowly. She placed her hand on his chest. "You do not have to choose," she said softly. "I choose you," she said. Those words were powerful. Ancient magic inside Kale's soul responded. His true royal supernatural form began awakening. His body was surrounded by silver and dark gold energy. The queen looked terrified because she realized something. Kale was not just a guardian. He was the lost king of the ancient Island Sea Empire. Kale stood up fully. His voice became deeper, stronger. "This island belongs to those who protect life," he said. Then he raised his hand. Ancient magic symbols appeared in the sky above the island. The queen realized she was losing control. She retreated back into the sea. "I will return for the child," she warned. Then she disappeared into the dark ocean. The battle was over, but Kale was injured. He fell slowly to the ground. Isla caught him. She held his head gently. "Don't leave me," she whispered. Kale looked at her with deep emotional warmth. "I am starting to feel again," he said softly. "That is dangerous but beautiful." He touched her hand. Then he said something very emotional. "If destiny destroys me, I am glad it happened while I knew you." Isla cried quietly. That night, peace returned to the island. But far away in royal mainland kingdoms, armies were preparing. Because they now knew the prophecy child was stronger than expected. And in the deep ocean, the Sea Queen was smiling, because the real war had not started yet. The full moon rose above the island like a silver eye watching the world below. The sea was calm tonight, too calm. The wind did not move the trees much. Even the birds were quiet. It felt like the island was holding its breath, waiting for something important to happen. In the old stone cottage near the beach, Isla was sitting beside Kale. Kale was resting. His injuries from the battle with the Sea Queen were slowly healing, but his body was still weak. His supernatural curse had reacted badly to emotional magic and combat at the same time. Isla held his hand gently. She had not left his side since the battle. The baby inside her was growing stronger every day. She could feel the child's magic moving softly inside her like warm, golden light. It was not violent power. It felt like hope. But Isla knew danger was still coming. The royal mainland would not stop. And the Sea Queen would return. Kale slowly opened his eyes. "Isla," he said quietly. I am here, she replied immediately. Kale looked at her face for a long time. He was tired, but his eyes were full of emotional warmth. You should rest, he said. I am resting, she said softly. I am resting beside you. Kale smiled slightly. It was the first real smile she had seen from him. Outside the cottage, the ocean suddenly changed color. The water turned dark blue, almost black. Isla felt fear immediately. Kale noticed it too. They are coming, he said quietly. Who? Isla asked. Kale stood slowly, even though his body was still weak. Both enemies, he said, the Royal Mainland Army and the Sea Queen. Isla felt her heart tighten. But we defeated them, she said. Kale shook his head. Not completely, he said. This is not just a war of soldiers, this is a war of destiny. Far across the sea, ships with royal flags were approaching the island. The Royal Mainland had sent their strongest warriors and dark magic users. They wanted the prophecy child. They believed the child could be used as a weapon to control kingdoms. But the child was not a weapon. The child was balance. On the beach, Kale stood facing the ocean. Isla stood beside him. She was not afraid anymore. She had changed during her journey. She was stronger emotionally, not through violence but through love and determination. I will fight with you, she said. Kale turned toward her quickly. No, he said immediately. Isla looked hurt. Kale softened his voice. If you fight while pregnant, the magic stress could harm the child, he explained. You are the future of peace, not war. Isla placed her hand on his chest. Then promise me something, she said. What? Do not sacrifice yourself again. Kale stayed silent. Because he could not promise that. The royal ships arrived near the island shore. Soldiers jumped onto the beach. Dark magic users stood behind them preparing spells. The leader of the royal army stepped forward. You have two choices, he shouted toward Kale. Give us the child or the island will be destroyed. Kale's eyes glowed silver. You will not touch her, he said calmly. The battle began immediately. Magic exploded across the beach. Lightning from the sky struck the ground. Kale fought like a king reborn. His supernatural power was stronger than before because he was fighting to protect love, not just duty. But the royal army was large. Too many enemies. Inside the cottage, Isla suddenly felt pain in her stomach. Not physical pain. Emotional magic pain. The baby was reacting to the battle energy outside. She placed her hands on her stomach. It's okay, she whispered. Your father is strong. Then she heard the child's voice inside her mind. Mother, I want to help him. Isla was shocked. The child's magic was awakening faster than expected. Golden light slowly began surrounding her body again. But this time the magic was stronger, older, almost royal in nature. Outside, Kale was slowly losing ground. The royal army was using dark sealing magic chains. They were trying to weaken him slowly. Kale realized something terrible. They were not trying to kill him immediately. They wanted to break his will first, because emotional pain could break supernatural guardians faster than physical wounds. Then the sea suddenly rose violently. Huge waves formed. The Sea Queen appeared again. She walked across the water like it was solid ground. You cannot protect them forever, Kale, she said. Kale stood tired but determined. I will protect them until my last breath, he said. The Sea Queen smiled. Then let me give you a choice, she said. She raised her hand. A magical vision appeared in the air. It showed a future. In the vision, the child was born, but kingdoms were fighting over the child. Isla was alone. Kale was dead. Love creates suffering, the Queen said. Join me, break your curse, and rule the oceans with me. Kale was silent, because the vision scared him, not because of death, but because of Isla being alone. Inside the cottage, Isla felt the vision too through magical connection. She cried quietly, then she stood up slowly. She walked outside despite the danger. Kale saw her and shouted, "Stay inside!" But Isla kept walking toward him. I am not weak, she said. Then she faced the Sea Queen. I will not let you control our future, she said firmly. Golden magic energy burst from her body. The prophecy child's power awakened fully for the first time. The sky above the island split open with golden light. Ancient prophecy symbols appeared in the sky. The child's voice spoke inside Isla's mind. Mother, we choose peace. Isla felt emotional tears fall from her eyes. She understood. The child did not want war. Kale walked beside her. He looked at her with deep love and respect. Then he did something shocking. He knelt in front of her, not as a king, not as a guardian, but as a man choosing love. I choose you, he said. I choose our child, he continued. I choose peace over power. Then he broke his own curse willingly. Ancient magical chains around his soul shattered with bright silver light. His power did not disappear, it transformed. The Sea Queen screamed in anger. She retreated back into the ocean, promising to return someday. The Royal Mainland Army also retreated after seeing Kale's true power and the prophecy magic protecting the island. Peace returned to the island. Months later, under a peaceful moon, the child was born. The baby had soft, glowing eyes and calm magical energy. Kale held the child carefully for the first time. He felt something he had never felt in centuries. Family. Isla stood beside him, smiling through tears. The island was quiet now. The storms were gone. The curse was broken. But as they watched their child sleep peacefully, far under the deep ocean, something ancient opened its eyes again. Because destiny was never truly finished. It only rested, waiting for the next generation to continue the story of love, power, and sacrifice.